Everybody could take your seats. Today is May the 3rd of 2022, and this is our regularly scheduled monthly meeting of the Alabama Public Service Commission. For the record, the public was notified of today's meeting by notice dated March the 30th of 2022. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us today. We appreciate it. And at this time, if I could remind you to turn your personal devices off or to vibrate so as not to disturb anyone here on the dais, we'd greatly appreciate it. And I will do my best to remind you to turn them back on so as not to miss an important phone call when the meeting is over. Let me introduce my colleagues here. To my right, in place 1, is Commissioner Jeremy H. Oden. To my left, in place 2, is Commissioner Chris Chip Beaker, Jr. I am Twinkle Andrews Kavanaugh, President of the Alabama Public Service Commission. To my far right is our Executive Director and Chief Administrative Law Judge, John Garner. And below is the Secretary of the Commission, Mr. Walter Thomas. And I think you all know by now, as is customary, each month one commissioner gets to bring in a special guest to offer the prayer and the pledge. And today we have an extremely special guest with us who has taken just a little bit of time off from exams to join us. So we're going to get right with your granddaddy recognizing you. But thank you so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure for me to recognize Patton Browning. He's our oldest grandson. He graduated from Mountain Brook High School, and he's currently at Auburn, as Twinkle said, where he's in building science, and he'll be graduating in a couple of years. He recently found out that he would be spending the summer at J.H. Ranch in California. We're very pleased and proud that he's going to go out there and do that. His future looks very bright, and he has a fine work ethic and integrity, and it's going to take him a long ways. And so thank you for spending this time with your pops and the others.
We're going to let you get one. Oh, Teresa.
Go ahead and bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, and thank you for this country we get to live in, and thank you for this great state, and just pray over our leaders, and pray over these elections, and pray over, Father, just wisdom for everybody who is in office, and also the people to elect the right people to lead us. And we thank you for this day, and pray your blessing over this meeting, and for just good things to flow from it. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and good luck on that exam. And next, for the approval and the adoption of our minutes from the last meeting, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from March the 1st of 2022?
So second.
Commissioner Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Commissioner Oden? Yes. Commissioner Beaker?
Yes.
With there being no old business to discuss, we will move on to the new business here at the commission, and we will go through each of our utility reports. First is our Utility Services Division monthly report given by Mr. Jeff Johnston, our division director.
Good morning, Commissioners. You have before you the Utility Services Division agenda for the May 3rd meeting. I also have one off-agenda item that we'll be doing at the end. Starting with Consumer Services, for the month of April, Alabama Power had 12 inquiries, Spire Alabama 3, and Spire Gulf 0. All of these are down from last year and from the same period last month, and we're continuing the trend as they lower as we come out of the winter. For basic service only, there were no inquiries. Under other retail services, there were a total of 6. Only 2 of those were under our jurisdiction. Waived inquiries, there were a total of 9. So for the month, it was a total of 15. Moving to natural gas. Under docket 18046 and 18328, it's the division report on rate RSE as of March 31st, 2022. Based on preliminary figures, the projected RSE return on average common equity for the rate year ending September 30, 2022 was 9.65%. And this is below the range, but this is not a point of test. Under docket 28101, Spire Gulf, based on preliminary figures as of March 31, 2022, the projected RSE return on average common equity for the rate year ending September 30, 2022 was 7.65%, and this is also below the range. Moving to telecommunication, we have 4 interconnection agreements that I'll take together. Under docket U4841, Bell South Telecommunications LLC, doing business as AT&T Alabama or AT&T Southeast, and Bright House Networks Information Services. Under docket U5419, Frontier Communications of the South LLC and Windstream Communications LLC. Under docket U5420, Charter FiberLink Alabama LLC and National Telephone of Alabama, Inc. Finally, under docket U5421, Farmers Telecommunication Cooperative, Inc. and Envoy LLC. We recommend approval.
So move.
On some of those, I don't think you said recommend approval, so I'm just going to say
all.
for the record, they're all recommended approval.
Right.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Commissioner.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh?
Yes.
Commissioner Oden?
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker?
Yes.
And we have one off-agenda item under dockets 31802 and 31803. Arbor Utility Management LLC, or Arbor, requests to transfer the cottages at Bethune Lake Subdivision wastewater treatment plant and the Fieldstown Crossing on-site system to Integrated Wastewater Management, Inc., and to terminate their certificate of financial viability upon transfer. In March, Arbor Utility Management submitted a request to transfer all of its wastewater systems to Integrated Wastewater Management and to cancel its certificate of financial viability under docket 31802. In April, Integrated Wastewater Management submitted its related request to modify its certificate of financial viability to include all the wastewater systems to be transferred from Arbor under docket 31803. Arbor currently operates 2 wastewater systems, the cottages at Bethune Lake in Jefferson County and Fieldstown Crossing in Jefferson and St. Clair counties. Following the transfer of these assets, Arbor will not own or operate any wastewater systems. Integrated has demonstrated to staff that it is qualified to operate the facilities. They have stated they will retain the current rates being charged to the Arbor customers, so there will be no rate impact on ratepayers. After a review by staff, it has been determined that transferring the systems to integrated is in the best interest of the public. Therefore, we recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaver.
Yes.
If there are no questions, that concludes our report.
Thank you. Next, we have our Gas Pipeline Safety Division, and today Judge John Garner will represent our Executive Director, Mr. Wallace Jones, because he is out. So, Judge, if you could give us that report.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioners, you do have before you the report of the Gas Pipeline Safety Division, which reflects the division's activities for the month of March 2022. During March, gas pipeline safety personnel performed a total of 46 inspections of the various types reflected in the report you have before you. From those 46 inspections, there were 7 enforcement letters of noncompliance issued, noting 19 noncompliance issues, and there were 11 noncompliance items that were corrected during the month. As far as incidents and accidents, there was 1 state reportable incident that occurred during the month of March. That was on March 19th, 2022, in the Central Division of Southeast Gas. A vehicle ran off the road and damaged a regulator station there. There were no leaks, fires, or explosions, however. As far as training, there was 1 operator contractor training session on polyethylene plastic fusion that was conducted during the month of March. That was on March 15th at Leak City. 23 personnel were qualified during that class. As far as other matters, gas pipeline safety staff participated in the Alabama Natural Gas Association Spring Seminar held on March 8th through 11th in Hoover. Staff attended various training sessions, including an engineering roundtable, operations roundtable, and safety roundtables. And related to PHMSA, Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, they are conducting their audit this spring, as they always do. That began the week of March 14th through the 17th. Mr. David Applebaum of PHMSA observed natural gas inspection activities at Athens Utilities Department and the Huntsville Utilities Department. He will return later this month to conduct a hazardous liquid inspection in South Alabama and conduct the financial audit of the records that he reviews here in Montgomery at our offices. As far as looking ahead, Mr. Jones, the GPS Director, and Mr. Randall Hand, Gas Pipeline Safety Investigator, are already planning the Pipeline Safety Seminar that is scheduled for December of this year. It's our annual event and had really good turnout last year. Expect the same this year. As far as Mr. Hand, he conducted some training for the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency on public safety on March 30th and 31st at Leak City in Athens. And based on the response from the federal agency, he will be called upon to do that again. So that went very well, and thank you, Mr. Hand, for doing a good job on that. That is all I have to present, Madam President, unless commissioners have any questions.
Thank you. Next, we have our Utility Enforcement Division represented by Ms. Amanda Sheehan, our Transportation Regulatory Manager.
Good morning.
Morning.
You have before you the Utility Enforcement Division's activities for the month of March 2022. The Railway Safety Track Inspectors visited 8 rail carriers, inspected 269 track miles with 98 track defects identified. The Motor Power and Equipment Inspector visited 8 rail carriers, inspected 619 units with 108 defects identified, and there were 3 recommended violations. Looking at page 2, there were 5 incidents reported by the National Response Center in March. Also, staff received and responded to 1 rail safety complaint concerning a drainage issue at a grade crossing in Utah. There was a blocked culvert that was cleared and corrected by the railroad. Moving to the Motor Carrier Services section, there were 27 vehicle registration numbers issued and 15 intrastate applications processed during the month. As of March 31st, Alabama was 76% compliant for the 2022 UCR registration. Moving to page 3, staff participated in a show cause hearing for one of our UCR carriers that didn't respond to a retreat audit request after multiple attempts. The carrier did not show up to the hearing, and their UCR payment was then suspended. The carrier has since corrected the issue. There was 1 passenger tariff, 3 passenger supplement tariffs, 2 taxi tariffs, and 1 contract received and accepted during the month. Staff conducted the annual records inspection review for Lyft on March 15th, and there were no major issues identified. There was a complaint received from a Birmingham police officer related to a TNC driver at the airport. The complaint was immediately reported to our regulated TNCs, and one of them did confirm that that was their driver, and they immediately removed them from their platform. The field services section staff completed an inspection of the village subdivision in Dadeville and found no discrepancies. And they also re-inspected Waterworks Inc. out of Talladega to follow up on some discrepancies found, and all of them were repaired or replaced, and there were no other issues noted at the time of that inspection. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, appreciate it. And next, we have our electricity division represented by Mr. John Free, our division director, and Ms. Patricia Smith, our public utility analyst manager.
Good morning, Commissioners. You have before you the Electricity Policy Division's agenda dated April 26, 2022. Ms. Patricia Smith will present the division's monthly update on rates RSC and ECR for Alabama Power Company.
Good morning, Commissioners. The first item on our agenda is the division's monthly report on rates RSC and ECR in dockets 18117, 18416, and 18148. Due to Alabama Power Company deploying a new accounting system in January 2022, many of their accounting and reporting processes were delayed. However, some reports are now becoming available. Therefore, the staff performed its monthly examination of the books and records of Alabama Power Company and determined the reprojected weighted return on average retail common equity was 6.15% for the 12 months ending December 31, 2022. This return is based on 1 month of actual data for January 2022 and 11 months of budget data for February through December 2022. For rate ECR, the staff performed a regular monthly review of Alabama Power's energy costs for the month of January 2022 and determined an under-recovery of approximately $36.1 million. Commissioner, this is our report on rates RSC and ECR.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Commissioners, pending any questions that you may have, this completes our report this morning.
Thank you. And next, we have our legal division report represented by Administrative Law Judge Sue Ellen Young, Judge Luke Bentley, then followed by Judge John Garner.
Good morning. My first item is docket 26928. It's a petition of Executive Connection, Inc. of Huntsville, Alabama, for cancellation of motor carrier certificate 3387. I recommend that you grant the cancellation as requested. And docket 30834, the petition of Dirk Mims Trucking Company of Clanton, Alabama, for cancellation of motor carrier certificate F4035. I recommend, again, that you grant this cancellation as requested.
So move.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes,
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Bigar.
Yes.
That's all I have today. Thank you.
thank you.
Morning, Commissioners.
Judge?
I have 6 items today. The first 4 are motor carrier items, and I'll present those together. Under docket C20289, a petition of KP Jones Group LLC, doing business as K&M Hauling of Hazel Green, Alabama, for approval of cargo self-insurance. I recommend approval. Under docket 33072, the petition of Leslie M. Stone, doing business as K3C Transportation, for approval of permanent operating authority. Recommend approval. Under docket C20261, petition of Hampton Trucking LLC of Jasper, Tennessee, for reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F1463, which was revoked due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of liability insurance coverage. Recommend grant of that petition and reinstatement of the certificate. And under dockets C20271 and 30786, the petition of S&D Trucking LLC of Vernon, Alabama, for cancellation of motor carrier certificate F4002. That certificate was revoked by commission order dated April 5th, 2022, due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of liability and cargo insurance coverage. I recommend reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F4002 for the sole purpose of canceling that certificate in good standing. Also recommend grant of cancellation as requested.
So moved.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Holden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Next item is under docket 30494, the application of Central Waterworks, Inc., a Florida corporation, for approval to increase water minimum rates and additional rates for each subsequent usage bracket per 1,000 gallons used. A hearing was held in this matter. The Attorney General of Alabama intervened and participated in the hearing. Commission staff also participated in the hearing, and I recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Holden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
My last item is under docket 33192, and this is a generic proceeding concerning water service providers. Commission staff identified several unregulated water providers that potentially meet the statutory definition of utility, subjecting them to commission regulation. Some of the identified water providers were incorporated as nonprofit companies pursuant to Alabama Code Section 10A-20-9.01, and that code section had no exemption from commission regulation, or no explicit exemption. To determine whether these and other water service providers are subject to regulation, on December 14th, 2021, the commission initiated this generic proceeding. The commission received comments from 6 water service providers and the Alabama Rural Water Association. The comments addressed several legal issues, and the commenting water providers submitted corporate governance documents. I recommend the commission issue an order finding that, 1, a nonprofit water company that only serves its own members and has formal provisions for members to select leadership is presumed to not be a public utility. 2, a water provider may be deemed to serve the general public even if its customers are limited to a single development or subdivision. 3, a water provider may be deemed to serve the general public even if it chooses to charge its retail customers the same rates it pays its wholesale water provider. 4, based on provided documents and comments, that certain identified water providers are not public utilities. And 5, within 30 days from the effective date of the order, each identified water provider which failed to submit sufficient documentation during this proceeding shall either file for a certificate of convenience and necessity as a public utility or submit evidence that it is not a public utility.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Holden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Judge.
Thank you, Madam President. I do have one off-agenda item. It is a late developing item, very late. And I apologize for the lateness of the development, but this involves settlement negotiations, and that frequently is how that transpires. The item is under dockets 18046 and 18328. This concerns the RSC renewal for Spire, Alabama INC. The Office of the Attorney General filed correspondence on April 28, 2022, advising the Commission that the AG and Spire had reached an agreement regarding the terms and conditions for the extension of Spire's RSC mechanism. The parties advised the Commission yesterday, May 2nd, that there had been a minor modification to the April 28th agreement, but the terms of the proposed settlement as revised yesterday are as follows. As far as the ROE range, the adjusting point will be 9.70 with a range of 9.5 to 9.9. As far as capital structure, the common equity cap will remain at 55.5%. As far as the term, the order will specify a time frame for the renewal of Spire, Alabama that will be separate and distinct from the renewal of Spire Gulf. Both will be held in the same year, but it is a 3-year term for Spire, Alabama. As far as points of test, they were reduced to 3, and they will be done in March, June, and September. There's a new provision concerning 13-month average common equity growth. 13-month average common equity growth will be capped at 6% growth annually. Some significant overhauls to the cost control measurement, the CCM. It will be updated in the following ways. The base year will be computed by averaging the actual O&M expenses for the previous 3 years, and then the base CPIU will be computed by averaging the average CPIU for the previous 3 years. Next, the base year and the base CPIU will remain constant for the duration of the term unless a CCM benefit is achieved by Spire. When a benefit is achieved, the base year and the base CPIU for the next year will be each reset to an average of the 3 most recent years. Lastly, the completed rate year's O&M shall be the base year adjusted for inflation by taking the difference between the current year's August CPIU and the base CPIU minus a 1.5% productivity factor. As far as the recommendation, this is a joint recommendation of staff from the Legal and Utility Services Division. The recommendation is for approval of the proposed settlement terms and cancellation of the scheduled hearing in this matter.
So moved.
Second.
Let me just take a few moments to thank the Attorney General's office. They put in a lot of hours on this. Thank you all. We really appreciate it. I'd like to thank Jeff Johnston, the director, and Donald Powell also for all of their hard work in this. I know there's been a lot of late hours, and I appreciate it. And Spire, Alabama Gas, thank you all. You all came to the table and made quite a few concessions, and we appreciate that. I think it works best for the consumers when everyone can come to the table and make this happen. So thank you all. And
Commissioner Cavanaugh,
yes.
Commissioner Oden,
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Madam President, if I might add to your comments, there was a lot of work that went into this process. Our staff did a fantastic job of kind of herding the thing and shepherding it along, and then we had really good input from Spire, and then the Attorney General really came to the table as well. So I thank all the parties for their efforts to bring this to a close. There was a lot of back and forth negotiation, but it was all in good faith, and at the end of the day, I think it was very productive, and I particularly appreciate it because now I don't have to conduct the hearing. So,
Well, I guess I am remiss in not saying, and thank you, Judge, and the legal team here at the Commission also, because you all played a role too after the fact, I guess. So, but thank you.
our role was minimal. That was all staff from the Utility Services Division. Mr. Johnston and Mr. Powell did all the work leading up to this point. And I'm appreciative of all the parties' input, which led to this outcome. I think it's fair for the company, and I think it's a good arrangement for the ratepayers. So it was a good outcome at the end of the day. Madam President, the only other thing I have to present are the administrative items. I recommend approval of all those items.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
That's all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any new business to bring before the Commission today?
I just want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day coming up
thank you.
Sunday. Nothing better than a mother's.
That's my favorite title. Thank you. And I'm sure that's from the bench. We all say Happy Mother's Day to all the moms in the room, and Happy Grandmother's Day to all the grandmothers. Any other new business to bring before the Commission? With there being no more new business to bring before the Commission, in closing, let me remind you that our next regularly scheduled Commission meeting is Tuesday, June the 14th of 2022. And just a quick reminder to turn your phones back on so you don't miss a phone call. And with there being no further business, thank you all so much for coming. We stand adjourned.